In this video, we're going to discuss the freeze player behavior. So this is a zone behavior, and I'm standing in a zone right now, and I can't move. I can try to move, but I just kind of hop around a little bit. I can also only move my range so much. I'll show you how that's done here in a moment. But it can be useful for a number of different things, such as a game like this, where the player is not really intended to move, right? It's a target shooting game. And so I'm meant to sit here and shoot the targets from this place. Or in the Keeper's Lair, which is a game series that we build along series that we did on this channel, when the player goes into the final room, they get frozen for just about 3 seconds, just long enough for the keeper to be able to escape, and then they're allowed to search the room. So it can be useful for a number of different scenarios. Let me show you how it works. All right, so like I said, it's a zone behavior. We're going to attach it to a zone, and the first prompt that we see here is freeze time. This is in seconds. If you're going to make a game like this, where the player is meant to stand in one position and do something, then you're going to either want to make the amount of time sufficient so that they don't become unfrozen before the round ends. Otherwise, I think Necrom talked about adding the option to put 0, in which case they would always be frozen forever. I think it just depends on the kind of game you're making and how long you want them to be frozen. But for now, just make sure that the amount of freeze time is sufficient to cover your needs. Then you have the zone height, which is just how far above the zone can the player be and still be affected by this zone. The start at spawn checkbox just makes it active immediately. If you don't check that box, then you'll need some way to activate it, trigger it and activate it, and then it would become a freeze zone. You could also make it a multi-trigger so that every time the player enters that zone, they get frozen, but in this scenario, it really wasn't necessary. You have the option to do a partial freeze or a total freeze. Now, partial freeze, as you saw, allowed me some movement, right? I could try to move a little bit, but it wasn't going anywhere. I could pan my view 45 degrees in either direction. That's partial freeze. A total freeze means just that. It's a total freeze. You cannot pan, you cannot move. You lose all ability to do any kind of movement. So again, depending on the scenario, pick the one that works best for you. If you're doing a partial freeze like I did, then you have the ability to make a view angle limit. That's again in degrees. So 45 degrees left, 45 degrees right. That is the limit of my view angle. Then you have the zone trigger yes, no drop down. Now, what this means is when I enter the zone, I become frozen. Does this zone trigger something else? So it's really just if you have that yes, then you could logic link that zone to something. It could activate something else going on. Then lastly, you have the sound slots. So sound 0 is what to play when the character becomes frozen or when the player becomes frozen entering the zone. And then the second sound is for unfreezing. So if you have a scenario where you expect the player to become frozen temporarily, you may want to let them know what's happening so they don't think it's maybe a bug or something. Sound indicates something, and that gives the player some feedback. And then of course the sound for when they're unfrozen, which might be useful in the event that they need to move right away. So again, just depends on the scenario that you're going for. But that's it. That's the freeze player behavior. If you enjoyed the video or if you learned anything new, please be sure to click the like button down below. If you're new here or if you just haven't subscribed yet, would love to have you stick around. And lastly, if you'd like a notification for whenever new videos are posted, just click the bell icon and that'll let you know when a new video is ready. Thanks so much for watching all the way through. I always appreciate that, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now. Hey, don't forget there's a written guide for every behavior, including ones I haven't yet covered on this channel. And if you want to learn some more, why don't you check out this video next.